wanna be down with the king.
It's the Sports Kings. Sports Kings. Big Mike.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
And Rob Calloway.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, Work Done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy, already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the king.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
Back with you for hour number 2 on the Sports Kings podcast. Getting you over this hump day.
Hump day!
That's right. Halfway to the weekend, everybody. This is Big Mike holding it down for my guy, Rob Calloway, who's out today. He had to go, see a man about a horse, so he wasn't able to join us today. But we're going to do the best we can. God help us all. Make sure you guys tell a friend that this podcast, the Sports Kings podcast, is being heard via Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com. It's like speaker with an R between the P and the E. You guys can also get in contact with us, give us a follow, a like, and all that good stuff on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The handle is Sports Kings Live. Our email address, sportskingslive@gmail.com, can be used for the same purposes. You guys got comments. You guys want to address something that we mentioned on the show that you do or do not agree with. You guys want to tell us what terrible a job that we're doing or how good of a job we're doing, whichever one. It's all good. We appreciate it all. You can send all that stuff to the email, as well as any inquiries about sponsors. We are looking for sponsors for the show, either hourly or once we start putting together different segments to kind of just break up the monotony of the show and just not us straight talking for 2 hours, put together little fun little segments like one of my favorite, Is It Racist? We will start doing that eventually here sometime. And another one of my favorites, Old Man Stop Talking, which is basically when these old athletes feel like they need to open their mouths about everything because someone has stuck a microphone in their face and something inevitably stupid comes out. That's another one of my favorites. So we'll do little things like that as the show progresses. This marks the beginning of our second month doing this particular or operating in this particular format. For those of you who don't know, let me kind of do the reintroduction here. Rob and I started off on CBS Radio. We were both at one point, then the show was dismantled and then put back together in certain sporadic, parts, namely late at night on 92.9 FM here in Atlanta, very sporadically, months in between appearances, that type of situation. We were subsequently both fired at one point, which led us to being here. And I couldn't feel any freer than I feel right now. Some of the things that are prone to come out of my mouth would have really gotten an adverse reaction at my previous place of employment. So I'm only saying all that to say thank you guys, all the people who have downloaded, who have streamed the show via Spreaker.com or Facebook or the Spreaker app on your iPhone or your Android device. You're much, much appreciated. We do ask that when you do go and download or stream the app that you give us likes on the Spreaker app or the website, because I think it helps us get to some certain level of something within the Spreaker app. So if you guys could just do that. Last hour, we started off last hour talking about the first company that the first company that I read about that's chosen to take advantage of this Religious Freedom and Restoration Act that's going on in Indiana, the act that allows companies to refuse service to gay and lesbian couples or gay and lesbian people. It's weird. It's a pizza company called Memories Pizza. So if you're listening to us in Indiana or Indianapolis, or if you're traveling to Indiana or Indianapolis for like the Final Four or something, and you believe in human rights, Memories Pizza probably isn't the place that you want to give your business to. Let's say it that way. From there, we gave some updates on the Jonathan Taylor story, as well as we talked a little bit about UGA spring practice, just a little bit. as far as some of the things, the injuries and things, and the position battle, especially the quarterback battle that's going on down in Athens. The Miami Pro Day happened today as well, so we talked about some of the athletes that performed well down in Miami for the NFL scouts. From there, we started our NFL conversation, which will continue this hour, about Marcus Mariota not going to, or deciding not to go to the combine, to the NFL draft in Chicago. Now that's going to make he and Jameis Winston, the top two quarterbacks in the draft, not attending the NFL draft. And we talked about a little bit. We went through the draft order and realized that, Marcus Mariota could, in fact, experience a slide during this draft. And secondly, he's from Hawaii. Like, who wants to leave Hawaii for anything, be honest with you? So he'll be in Hawaii celebrating with his family. He'll have the ESPN and NFL Network cameras there, the same way some other guys did last year. Eric Ebron and Michael Sam and these people had cameras there. They weren't in New York last year, but they ended up having cameras at their place to record the memory and the reaction to them being drafted. So Marcus Mariota will have that. Not so sure about Jameis Winston at this point, if he'll have all that stuff going together, but if we know anything about Jameis Winston, you can probably make a safe bet that he will have that whole, set up at his crib. We also talked about Greg Hardy and the things that are going on around him, the fact that the NFL now has, I guess, the evidence they need, the pictures, 7 pictures from the victim or the accuser in the Greg Hardy domestic abuse case. So that'll allow them to, I guess, make an informed decision as it relates to what his punishment is going to be moving forward and how many games he's going to actually miss. Another story that I want to make sure we keep you guys updated on is this Darren Sharper thing. If you remember last week, Darren Sharper pleaded. He took a universal plea to a gang of rape charges. In L.A., Arizona, I think Miami was another place, New Orleans, and he took a universal plea that'll have him spend a minimum, I don't know, a minimum or a maximum of 9 years. I think it's 9 years total he's going to have to spend in jail. Talking about like punishments that don't fit the crime, it's like what happened was he took a different plea in every state, but the maximum amount of years ended up being 9. And every sentence that he got was to be served in succession instead of consecutively. Like, okay, we sentenced you in this state for 4, you'll serve these 4. We sentenced you in the next state for 9, you'll serve those 9. We sentenced you in the next state for 8, you'll serve those 8 after that. Instead of that, he's going to be serving them all together, which will allow him to possibly be out of jail in 9 years from now. The conversation that we ended up having, the last conversation that we had in regards to this was him being an NFL Hall of Famer. And it's a weird dynamic because not only does the NFL voters not take off the field situations into consideration when voting for the Hall of Fame, it's actually against the rules. Like, if you have a Hall of Fame vote, it is against their rules and bylaws to vote somebody or not vote somebody in because of something that happened outside of football. It's all about what you did on the field. And quite frankly, in the Darren Sharper case, it's the numbers are there. The performance is there. Now you got these guys, these Hall of Famers now, who are up in arms about now, because now their morality kicks in and says, I can't share a Hall of Fame with a guy like that. But let's keep it real. They're drug addicts and, they're women abusers that are in the Hall of Fame now. Maybe not very, very publicized, but all these dudes are flawed. They're human beings, and some more flawed than others. And they've made it to the Hall of Fame. So to now be so overprotective over, let's keep it real, something that in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter that much. I mean, this dude raped women. He drugged and raped women. Like, who cares? When you boil it down all the way down, who really cares? But now he's got college teammates. Darren Sharper, has college teammates that are coming out against him. Per TMZ Sports, one of Darren Sharper's ex-college teammates is quote-unquote appalled that his alma mater, William & Mary, has not removed him from the school's Hall of Fame after Sharper's rape conviction. And he's demanding action ASAP. TMZ spoke with former lineman Josh Bayer, Beyer, who was inducted into the William & Mary Hall of Fame the same year as Sharper after playing alongside the guy back in the 90s. Bayer tells TMZ Sports he's shocked to learn that Sharper is still enshrined for everything that was revealed in the rape investigation, and that Sharper's continued association sullies the integrity of the university. There's that word again in college football. You know what? Miss me, man. Miss me with the whole integrity thing, man. As long as kids are being punished for accepting dollars for an autograph that is theirs, or punished for selling property that is theirs by this crooked ass organization known as the NCAA, or as I call them, the NCAA holes. Miss me with the whole integrity thing. He says, quote, "I'm appalled. His name should be removed from everything representing the university right now," Bayer says. Like, here's where we are right now. Like, everyone has to be offended by something. Like, just in general, who the hell knows that if you don't go to William & Mary, you're not associated with the college? Who knows that Darren Sharper's in the William & Mary Hall of Fame, except this dude? And who really even cares? It's William & Mary, and it's their Hall of Fame. Like, again, in the grand scheme of things, this is just somebody who feels the need to have their voice heard because they want to feign this high level of disgust and I'm offended. Come on, man. This thing has no effect. Him being in the Hall of Fame has no effect on your everyday life. Like, you still gonna have your bills to pay. If you got kids, you still got to take care of them. You still got to look after your wifey if you got one. Like, to fight this battle and be, as he says, quote unquote, appalled. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. If anything, be appalled. This dude is only gonna have to go to jail for 9 years after being after admitting to be a serial rapist. Like, let's get that part under control first. Like, 9 years in the pokey. Like, dudes have done more time for less. He violated multiple women. And the ones that he's convicted of or he admitted to are just the ones we know of. That's the sad part about it. Like, you think a dude like that stopped at some point? Like, you know what I mean? Or he started doing this kind of stuff like late in life. I don't think somebody just wakes up one morning at the age of 40 was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start drugging broads and raping them. Nah, I think that kind of stuff is in you all along, man. If you do it, you do it. And it's a damn shame, man. I don't know. Anyway, this guy Bayer goes on to say, quote, "You have to think about the bigger picture," because obviously that's what he's doing. He's thinking about the bigger picture. Get the hell out of here, man. The quote goes on to say, being associated with something that affects everyone from recruiting to sponsorship is not worth it. All right, see, now, stop saying you're appalled, because apparently you're not worried about, like, the moral issue, because you just said it. You're talking about sponsorships and recruiting and all this foolishness. Yeah, I'm good, man. There's a bigger part to all of this than you being mad because you're in the Hall of Fame at William & Mary, this great institution of higher learning, and Darren Sharper also happens to be in there. Okay, call me back when you research everyone who's in the Hall of Fame and in that particular Hall of Fame or the NFL Hall of Fame. You research everything and every transgression they've had throughout their lives. I'm sure you'll find a few things. Because my philosophy on all this kind of stuff, when people get real upset and appalled and everything on certain things, be that way about everything that falls into those categories. Be that way about everything. And if not, slow down. Slow down and shut up. Because there are bigger fish to fry than that. Like, for example, again, how in the hell is this dude for four separate rape? Like, there's something that's got to make that a like a Fed case.